Okay, it's good. We're starting with giggles. So, hey, everybody, it is another episode of Binge Bitches. We are here today. We are going to be focusing in on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I do not have the bandwidth to take on 3 different housewives right now. So, we're going to focus in on the new franchise. This is a new gem over on Bravo. And so, with us today, we have Miss Neltron, the baddest.
Hey, guys.
Why did it just do that to him? Say hello again one more time.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everybody. He got spotty internet. I don't know what just happened. That's so funny.
I got the new Ivy Park shoes, but she ain't got internet, okay?
There you go. That's what you guys need to know about her, is that she don't got internet. Okay, your Ivy Park shoes, what color did you end up getting?
I got the the aqua ones, not the aqua, the seafoam green. Sorry, that's what they are. So I really wanted the yellow ones too, but I just couldn't bring myself to spend $400 on shoes at once.
That's a lot of money. Okay, and speaking of somebody with a lot of money, and his Miss Vanjie t-shirt, Mr. Gunther Vanderpump is in the house with us today.
Hi, everyone.
So, as you can tell, Gunther is gay. So we like to get together and we like to yes, now you guys, he is a main influencer now over on TikTok. He got the colored lights behind him, so now when he does his TikToks, he's got lights in different colors and shades, and so you can match up with people when you duet. Look like you're in the same room. So that's fun. Okay, so as you guys know, that my 2 little co-hosts here, that we put this little show on every week, just basically because we like to talk about housewives and we don't have the outlet to go to a bar in the normal setting like we used to and actually discuss these kind of things. And so that's what we started doing here. And through that, we've actually digested a lot of housewives. We've done New York and Beverly Hills these past seasons. And right now we're in the middle of Potomac. We have OC going on, and we have Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And that's what we want to focus on today, because it's a good one, you guys. Right? How are we feeling?
It's cute. Yeah, it's good.
I'm obsessed.
You're obsessed?
So obsessed that I got my own microphone that Jen has.
I hate you. Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, he just pulled out a rose gold microphone from nowhere.
Oh my god, that is too funny.
Out of my butt.
I can't believe. Did you have it before or after?
I did have it before.
I can't. She's on trend, y'all. She's on trends.
I'm already a Real Housewife.
I love it. I just can't. So, okay. First takeaways before we jump into this whole entire episode. What are our first thoughts? Do we have anything besides hospital smell?
It's expensive. They have fucking money. It was funny. I know we were talking about this before, friends and I, and we're just they said the girls had money, and I believe it because they brought it with the fashion. I was like, yes, girl, bring it with the fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the snow scenes are just so pretty. I was like, dang, I think I might want to go visit Utah for a little bit. I was like,
that's what this is.
Yeah,
it is. It's tourist propaganda, because seriously, when they were pulling back on those mountains and the landscapes and everything, it was just oh my god, I need to go here. And especially being cooped up in the house,
right?
I'll go on a hike with Meredith and her family.
Yeah,
her gay son.
Yes, we're gonna get into that, because he is interesting, and we know he was thirsty to be on this show. Okay. So, Gunther, what are your first thoughts about the series? What are you liking so far? And
I'm loving the fashion as well. It's insane, and I like that there's a family on there too, the cousins, because I always think that brings a good dynamic. And those 2 are my favorite right now, Whitney and Meredith, I believe. Is that?
Or is it Meredith?
Those aren't Whitney and Heather.
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 Yeah. Heather, she's one of my favorites, actually.
She's a good, Heathers are good eggs on the Housewives.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there is just something that's inherently likable about her. And I think when we start to peel back the layers, you're gonna be ooh, it's dark in here, because Salt Lake City, they have money, but there is a darkness underneath everybody. It is very like the racial thing that's going on. There's like how did this person get money? They were excommunicated from the church. Like there is just, people turning their back on each other. It's crazy.
Everyone's got a secret, I feel.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into the Housewives. Let's just talk about them at first, and let's mention their taglines. So the first off, we have Jen Shah. She is our Hawaiian, Tongan, a little bit Chinese, as she describes it, girl. She's married to Sharif Shah, and her tagline. She's the first tagline that comes in. It's in this town, I'm Queen Bee and MVP. She really is, though. She came in on this episode.
Yeah.
As we got all the news before the episodes came out, it was all about Mary Crosby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was all the news. And then all of a sudden this Jen comes out and it's like, oh, Jen has like shades of, I've watched Housewives before. I know what pops. I'm going to make this happen for myself.
Yeah.
And so she does. I think she's pretty, very plastic.
Yeah.
What are your first thoughts about Miss Jen?
She's very much. She's like the matriarch of the bunch. I feel she's like our Lisa Vanderpump or Nene Leakes. She's what I think. She's probably the one that got the show started. Like they probably found her first, and we're like, okay, who's your group of friends? Like you can see that she's into everyone's little business here and there.
Yeah.
I want to look up now who got cast first. I'm going to be looking that up this week. I'm going to find that out for next week because she really is. She is the linchpin here. She is the one who kind of everybody revolves around. And I think because we're going to get into Mary Crosby, but the thing is, what do you call it? I keep calling her Crosby. It's Cosby, Mary Cosby. Oh. Yeah, like Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
But Mary. Like she was even friends with Jen that they showed. They had flashback scenes of those two together before the whole hospital smell, which we will get into. Okay. So before we talk about all, like, let's just get into the taglines first and then we'll get into the girls. So we have Lisa Barlow. When you take cheap shots, always expect a hangover. This is Tequila Girl.
Yeah.
With the long brown hair.
Yeah. I love it.
Drink.
She's really pretty, like in that 1970s, like, you know what I mean? Like that long hair, like the cool girl, that kind of a thing. Let's speed through these. Whitney Rose. This Rose isn't scared to handle a little prick. Girl, did your husband approve this line? She's married. Like she said this, and like, was her husband like, what the fuck? Like when he like saw the episode premiere, like, come on.
I don't think it has anything to do though with her husband's like penis size or anything like that. Yeah. So, but
didn't you notice she got a tramp stamp? She has a tattoo on her back.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Which is very against Mormon culture, and it's a rose. Yeah. So the thing is so I think that's where it comes from. I don't think it's a tramp stamp. Where is the tattoo?
It's on the side.
Side. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. She shows it off, and in the Mormon culture, it's like that's a big no-no. We have Meredith Marks. Jealousy is a disease, to which I say, get well soon. Okay, girl. Like we've heard this line before, you know what I mean? Like it's not like
some variation of it.
Yeah, it wasn't completely original. We have Mary Cosby. I love God, but I will read you like a scripture. That's a strong one. That's a strong one coming from the Christian lady. And then the last one that we have, last but not least, because I think she's going to be a fan favorite, is Heather Gay. We love the last name. Just like my pioneer ancestors, I'm trying to blaze a new trail. And so she reminds us that she's white and she's a settler.
She was on the Oregon Trail, girl.
She really was. So, okay, so those are the taglines, and let's get into the girls. We start off at Jen's chalet, at the Shaw Chalet. I'm loving that she even has a name for her house already, you guys.
Like Villa Rosa.
She does. She does. Or the Chateau Charay.
Chateau Charay.
Yeah. Ooh, these alliterations, girl, they're going to be hurting my tongue. So we started in at Jen's chalet. She reminds us, like I mentioned earlier, she's Hawaiian, she's Tongan, she's a little bit Chinese. but she might as well be black because that's what everybody looks at her like. And it's like, okay, you know what I mean? That's a strong way. But the thing is we also find out that she has converted from Mormon. Now she's Muslim. And she has that line, Assalamu alaikum, bitches. Like, I'm telling y'all, they have a lot of catchphrases already. Like these girls, like we're going to point them out as we go through. But there was I had to stop the episode a few times. I took real notes today. And I had to stop this episode a few times to write things down. I was like, that's going to be that's a Hall of Famer right there. You know what I mean?
I got to tell you, when I was watching this, it didn't seem like I was watching the first season of this. I felt like I was watching the second or the third season of it because the way they I don't know if it's the editing, but the way they gelled together and the way production did it, I did not feel like I was watching a first season Housewives show.
Rumor is that I believe, I want to just double check this as I say this, is that they had the whole entire the whole entire season recorded. Everything was done with another production company, and so it was done with yes, it's true. Okay, so this came out in June of 2020. And so I'm going to refer to this real quickly. It's on RHOSLC.com. So don't yell at me if it's wrong. So going back over to here. But the thing is this actually started off with a different company that was producing it. So it was undergoing major production changes, which is why it took so long to come out too, because this was recorded last year before pandemic. And so before 2020 really even hit. So another production company, which is still unnamed right now, was the ones who recorded this, edited everything together. Bravo did not like it, and they handed it back over to Shed Media, who does Real Housewives of New York City. So those are the editors who are now working on this. So the producers aren't even the same. The people who actually were the producers in their ear the whole time aren't even the people who actually edited it at the end of the day.
Oh, wow.
So let's see how this goes. But the thing is so apparently that's why they have this other footage that was boring, and they want to show the other stuff. It did feel like we were jumping in at least midway season even. You know what I mean? Like everybody already had these established things, and they were natural on camera.
Yeah.
You know, there was a little bit of that. So that's one of those rumors. So I did want to make sure I was kind of like on there. But anyways, she's a coach's wife. We enter. She's got a cute family. You know, she got 2 sons. I didn't even write their names down, but she got 2 of them. Yeah. Reefy and Omar. So her husband's cooking in the very, very first scene, which is just like points right there. You know what I mean? That we don't always see that. And she's like, "What can I do, baby?" He was like, "Nothing. Just be beautiful." I was like, "What?" She got the house and breakfast. So let's hope he does that other days, not just when the cameras are there. Right. Cute little conversation here. They just had this little breakfast kind of talk where they were establishing who they are. Husband is a football coach for a college. I forget which college he's with though.
So the University of Utah.
There you go. Yeah. So coaches make that much money, y'all. Like what?
Well, he's a recruiter too.
That's some bank. Like that's insane. But they're talking, and she's asking the little one if he's dating yet. And then she jumped real quick from like, well, if you start kissing, you're gonna get herpes and you're gonna get AIDS.
Yeah.
Glad the son went no.
They were like, no, mom.
Mom, no, that is not true.
You know who your audience is?
Yeah.
It's funny. They left it in though. So it's something. She, it was just cute. And the thing is when she said, if anybody sexts you, that make sure that you block them and then come tell me. So we get out of that point. We get over to Heather. We have Heather Gay, who they now introduce. Yeah. We find out Heather has 3 daughters. She has 15-minute botox parking outside of her company, outside of her establishment. She's at the Beauty Lab and Laser, which is what she basically owns. I wrote over here that she mentions that it's valued at over $20 million. like your company, if you sold that today, like what is she franchising yet? Like I want to know more details about this. So she took some, and the way that she just talks about Mormonism is a search for perfectionism. And so it's like I'm reaching my hand into a river of gold. It's like a river of money. And it was like, okay, you know what I mean? But I guess she does it right. We'll get into her employees in a minute. But one of my favorite things here is that Heather introduces her daughters. Her very first words about her daughters when she brings them in for a facial, she goes, "I got some greasy faced monkeys for y'all." I wrote it down.
Together stays together.
Oh my God. A family that facials together stays together. It's just, but the fact that she like introduces her 3 daughters as "I've got some greasy faced monkeys for y'all." Mom, you know what I mean? Like what happened later? We do come to find out that she married well, so very wealthy, basically a royal Mormon family. So the gay family was Howard Hughes's henchman / bodyguard was his great grandfather. She married the great grandson, got divorced 5 years ago, has now been excommunicated from the church. So she is wild, so she can drink. I think that's kind of the thing too that they're putting in your head is just to let you know that like, what's her name? Backtracking, our first girl, Jen Shaw, she mentions that she was Mormon. Now she's not. So that means, oop, there's a drinker. So it's like we put the drinker categories in. You know what I mean? And so, and then we also have this one, Miss Heather Gay. So we have all that money that was left. Okay, so then they hightail it on over to Meredith's house. Meredith has an ugly house. You guys know I like to look at the houses, and it is so 1980s, like straight out of like Ski Patrol Part 2.
Her house is pretty big though, so
it's big, but it got etched glass. It's ugly. And then when her son was doing those roses later, that house is not cute. So I didn't really like Jen's house either. I didn't really think it was the best color palette for that kind of a landscape, but whatever.
I mean, they probably have to re-gut it, so
that's all they're doing though, is like, what else do you have to do? So this whole thing is basically, the scene should have been called like Going Hiking with Schitt's Creek, was it basically what was happening in this scene. So we have her son Brooks, who took a semester off of college because his mom was shooting Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Basically.
Smartest gay boy ever, you know, like, and every single scene when he was sitting in the back seat, you know, he kept finding his light and was like, his hand is literally underneath his chin and he's posing towards camera each time. And it's like, this boy knew where to find his light. He is making sure he is riding this money train. And that
he had his lip gloss on. I
was looking up too that they filmed this as Housewives. It wasn't like a Dallas situation or as a charity thing that they told them and then they edited into Housewives. These women were hired to be housewives. So this boy was sitting, he probably like, I've been watching this show. I know exactly what to do. You know what I mean? Like, come through, little boy. And then I said, so I wrote down here too, is that they have Meredith and Brock are both all in black, very Schitt's Creek. It's Moira and what's his name? Dan Levy's character, David. So you have to watch Schitt's Creek, Nelson. Come on. So anyways, but then dad comes out in gray sweatpants.
Yeah.
This family knows gay men. Watch like Bravo. I thought the same thing too. I was like, all right, because he's the hottest husband too. I think
he's okay. Yeah,
I think out of all of them, he's the best looking one.
Yeah, none of the husbands are really ringing anything for me at the moment. So,
but not really. He's like cute in a dorky way. I feel.
Yeah, he is. He
like
is
with his red hat on and everything.
I think he is attractive. Yeah. So he's not one of my favorites, but he's like the best one in this season, on this franchise at least.
Yeah.
So they went walking. That's all I just put here. Seth is living in Chicago. where that's where they are from. They are Jewish from Chicago, which is another drinker. So it's like we got another person who can consume alcohol in Salt Lake City. So she talks about her. I couldn't tell the name of her store, and I didn't even want to look it up. Meredith's store. What is it called?
I don't know. I don't think she said. Yeah.
Is it just her name?
Maybe, probably.
The
Meredith
store, right?
Huh?
What?
It's jewelry. It's boutique, so it's jewelry, accessories.
Jewelry, she said the name of it. I just don't remember it. So
I bet you it's Meredith Marks. I bet you it's her name. It's like, and what a fucking cool name is that, Meredith Marks. Like Meredith Marks was like always the cool girl in school. Like you know it. You know what I mean? That's Meredith Marks. I would have tried to be her friend when I was in school. I work for the yearbook. Can I take your picture, Meredith? Like that would have been me. Meredith is way cooler than me, but still. She's pretty, real pretty. We're gonna see later, like this marriage has like little issues. Like when he says that, there's two things that you're overworked and undersexed, and he was like, and I'm both. Yeah. And she's like, that's not nice. And he's like, yeah. So it's like, oh wow. So we're getting like friction already, and we're seeing too. I know that we're jumping ahead to like what we're gonna have this season. It looks like, is she cheating on him? Like that was. Watch the to be continued at the end of this episode again.
I'll say he's cheating on her though, because he's the one in Chicago. Like,
but he's the one.
He doesn't have cameras in his houses. I mean.
There's a scene in the to be continued. We're so jumping ahead, where the two of them are at dinner, and he goes, "Why won't you just let me see your phone?"
Oh yeah.
You don't say that if you're the one cheating. You know what I mean? So I think that there's something there that maybe she, but she's catering to the biggest celebrities, to Charlize Theron, Scarlett Johansson, Rihanna. The list goes on and on and on. And I'm like, I could listen to this lady talk forever. Can you please read me a bedtime story? Because it's just too much. We jump from her over to Miss Lisa. Lisa is the other brunette. She's the one who I said is 1970s Rose Byrne, kind of, like pretty, like the long hair. And she's the New Yorker. She's Jewish, now converted over to being Mormon. Yeah. So I guess that means that she doesn't drink, or she's one of the ones who, as as Heather would say,
doesn't she have the tequila company? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, she's the Mormon with the tequila company.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the tequila company. She's got Vida Tequila, Ciudad Catila, Ola Catila. And it was like tequila. Like the way that she says it is just weird. And like I've
never heard of any of those.
I never heard of any of those tequilas. Yeah.
I've heard of Vida Tequila. Like I have heard of it. And now I'm gonna say it Vida Tequila, not Vida. Like how Vida. It's a Spanish word, Ciudad Tequila.
And they're working on a vodka.
Hola Tequila. Yeah, she's currently making vodka. I love it. So she's got her husband John, and who was like a woodboard, like he was like a 2x4 plank. Like there was nothing special about him.
Yeah, he was really involved. Maybe he doesn't want to be, but he was there, so
he was like, look, pay attention. I'm gonna get 2 tattoos, a gorilla and a wolf. And my head said, leave him. Like, like immediately. Come on, girl. So, but she had her 2 sons, Jack and Henry. She owns a luxury marketing company as well. Yeah. Okay, Sonia. Sonia.
And she's the one that you have to know to get into parties when you go to Sundance.
There you go. She's a Sundance queen.
So you want to know her. Yeah. So
how extra was it? Was it that they had to go to Sonic, Wendy's, Taco Bell?
I fucking loved it.
I've done that before. I'm not gonna lie. I've done that.
I was like, way to go, mom. Way to like get.
Are they stoned? Like are they stoned?
Sometimes you just want different things from different places. I'm not gonna lie, when I order myself breakfast from Denny's, but then like I will go to McDonald's and get a Coke and French fries because I don't want hash browns and because I love McDonald's Coke. So I was like, but I still want my breakfast, you know?
I can't. I think I don't know. Have I done that? Maybe I've done it like maybe once in life. I need to do that. I need to live.
Those are things I would only do for myself. Like I would never expect anyone else to like drive through with me to go through other places to get the things that I wanted. So, but I mean, hey, if I find that man one day, then you know that's going to be my husband. So
you're like, I can see myself with John. I could love John. Like, I mean, number one, you know that this bitch does not eat that way very often. She is skinny.
Yeah.
And the thing is the other part was, we're gonna eat trashy food in the nice Porsche. Please don't get your greasy fingers on it. Like, oh my goodness, it was just too much. I loved it, but she did get a cheese gordita crunch. And I'm a cheesy crunch girl as well. So
and she got nacho fries.
Yeah, I don't do the nacho fries. I think those are gone, but
they might be gone. Yeah,
they were gross.
So.
I haven't been to Taco Bell in a minute. The last time I went was like on impulse because they were like the Mexican pizzas are going away. So I was like, I need to get one. That was like 3 months ago when they first announced it. And
they still have them though. I don't think they've gone away yet.
I don't know. I didn't love it as much as I did when I was younger. So I was just like, okay, we're done with this one. But a cheesy gordita crunch without the lettuce, I can fuck that shit up.
Yeah.
So then now we have this split scene. So they need to remind us of who we've already met. So because we have now met Jen Shaw. Okay. We've now met Heather Gay, which is the a plastic surgeon office lady, the laser lady. We've met Meredith, who owns the store. We've met Lisa, who owns Tequila. Well, Vida Tequila. Hola Tequila. So then we have Jen visiting Heather at the office. So let's bring two of them together. So now we find out that Jen and Heather are the close ones. Immediately, you can see fan favorites. They're going to be fan favorites, these two girls.
Yeah.
You know? Jen is gonna push things. She talks about how Heather spits rap lyrics, like, and it's just like, oh, there's like little subtle hints of like, okay, because when Heather's like, okay, I love everything that Mormons shouldn't like: black guys, gay guys, drinking, and it was like drugs. Like, don't equate black and gay guys with drinking and drugs. Come on.
How dare she?
She really did, though. She threw us all, like, lump summed us all together. And I resent that. I think two of those things can exist in one person, but not all four.
You can be gay, black, and drinking like drugs.
That is true. I gotta call my friends. Okay. So anyways, we just got canceled. Anyways, Jen, they're visiting. She is getting Botox in her armpits. Okay.
So weird.
The guy, I've heard of this actually. I've heard of the Botox in your armpits. I've heard of doing it different places that you sweat. I've heard about doing Botox in your feet when you have uncomfortable shoes. Ew. But here's the thing. Did you guys notice how coked out that technician was? Allegedly. Like, he was purple. Like, he was purple. He was a little jaw clenchy. He looked like he had been sweating, but he didn't go anywhere. Yeah. Like, and he was just like, "Oh, you can't sweat." And I was like, "Can you not sweat?" Like, he looked coked out, you guys. I don't know. Anyways, and then when she was like, "Yeah, I want to get this done." And then he casually, when she was like, "Okay, we'll see you later," he was like, "When is that supposed to work?" He was like, "Oh, like a month." Like, it's not immediate. So,
I was thinking like, that doesn't work immediately. They said it will hit like about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
For it to like hit. And I was like, why even get that then if it's going to take that long to like, work?
Getting ready for the summer months.
Right? I don't know because it wasn't working by her party because we saw how much deodorant she put on.
Yeah. Like, well, maybe she was just doing that so she would smell good though too, you know? So
I don't know. Well, then maybe she needs to get Mary's surgery to get her odor glands removed.
What the fuck is that?
We are jumping all ahead, but this episode was so full of stuff, you guys. In a first episode of premiere, this was a strong. But when they do this flashback of like when Heather's like, well, she just loves to come in and get all these different procedures done, and if I don't have it, I have to make sure that I get it. And they're like, and then they flash over to her. She's like, I want to get my knees done. I was like, girl.
Like that is like you have money and you just don't and you just want to spend your money because
and you look at yourself all the time that you're like
because you have everything you possibly could want already from like what clothing, purses, like you literally have everything and now you're like, okay, well what can I spend my money on now? Oh, I know. Let me put some Botox in my knee.
We haven't seen all of Jen's house yet. I'm telling you right now, she either has a dance studio in house with all the mirrors because people who are in front of mirrors, like as a child, oh my God, they don't get out of it. Like my dancer friends, crazy. But anyways, then you also have like this whole thing of like when you go up to like her, I bet you her bathroom or her closet is full of mirrors. So that's why she's like looking at her knees and her armpits and like, I need to do things. Yeah. So, cause girl, just calm down. You're beautiful. And you got money for good clothes that cover it all up.
Yeah.
Like really good clothes. I mean, stilettos in the snow kind of girl. Like that's the kind of wealth you have is you have stilettos in the snow. That just tells me something.
Yeah.
What else? Stuart is Jen's assistant Stuart, you guys.
Why does everyone love him? Like I'm looking at it and like all the gays are like, we love him. I'm like, why? He's not even cute. Like
he's not
what
cute.
The fuck? Like
I thought Stuart looked like one of those like plants. Like he was just like a plant or a wall or a stool. Like he's somebody that everybody forgets is in the room. Like they're like, okay, well, let's just go. Just the two of us. And he's like, I'm here too. Like, you know that he's that guy. Because he was seriously just sitting in the back of the room, just all like meek and like, like as this coked out guy was putting needles into his boss. I wrote Stuart assistant in the corner, wallpaper. Like, I just wrote wallpaper. That's it. That's all he was. I wrote Jen wants her knees done. And this is where we find out, this is the scene that kind of establishes that we are going to have a party for Meredith's B-Day.
For her birthday, yes.
At the Shaw Chalet, we're going to turn it to Studio 54. And so they want to have hot male strippers, but it's not really for Meredith. Right. And as we find out, none of this party is for Meredith. It's all for Miss Jen.
It's all for Jen, yeah.
This is her coming out party as a housewife. She was like, you guys, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So we shoot over. Now we meet another new girl. We meet Whitney. Whitney has a little bit of a Kristen Takeman kind of a look. You know what I mean? Like we get one of these girls every so often on a thing. She's also who was Megan Tall and Plain from OC. What's her last name?
I don't remember, but I remember Megan. Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's these kind of girls, and these girls silently bring it after a minute. Like there's like a thing that they look all timid. She got that baby doll voice. She's the one who talked about her rose, and I have to get a little prick. That little tiny voice. She was Mormon royalty. So she was Shadrach Abendi, who was a bodyguard to Brigham Young. She's a descendant of that. And she's also a cousin of Heather, as you pointed out earlier. Yeah. Which, when we get families involved in Housewives, magic happens. It's happened on Jersey. It has happened. Beverly Hills, that's how they built the house. It was basically the house, so to speak, of Housewives, was with Miss Kyle and Kim. Yeah. So I'm hoping for good things. Yeah. How dark was it when that one cousin on the stairs was like, I just want to let you know that I'm really sorry. 10 years ago, we all talked shit about you. And then we find out why they all talk shit about her, because she was married. Her husband was married at the time, and now they're together. And we are led to believe that it's a wedding. And then we find out it's a renewal of vows. Yeah. This might be the one vow renewal that actually works on a housewife because it happened on the very first episode and not 2 seasons in to keep a storyline going. So we do see the tattoo on her back. She's already married. We get a view. You guys, there was a cameo in this. Okay, there's a lot of friend of in this series that I'm really loving.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Whitney's dad, Steve.
Is that really her dad? Because he looks, I don't know, a little young. Dad? Or I don't
that's
know
the wig, honey. That's the wig. When they do a close-up on him, that black hair mop that makes him look like he's out of a 2004 alt band. Like,
it's awful.
This Fall Out Boy, like, bass player. Like he is the back guy in one of these bands that we've never noticed before.
Ooh. Sorry.
Bless you, child.
She's blessed. She's blessed.
I just put babyface blonde Miss Whitney, her dad. When she's basically saying that she's got a nice full life now, everything is great, everything's peachy. She goes and changes her clothes. What did you guys think about her husband?
He's okay, which is funny because someone on Facebook had said Whitney's husband was hot, and then I was like, really?
I bet you if you gave him a beard, he'd be hot.
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all right. He's like goofy looking right here. He's got the size. And I'm sure 10 years ago, he was probably hot as fuck.
I want to know what his skin regimen is, you guys. His skin was like...
Yeah, he's got good skin.
That's good laser work from Heather Gay. I'm telling you. Like if that's what's happening, I'm going to Salt Lake. I'm going to Heather's place. I'm getting a treatment.
And I do want to say Whitney too. I think Whitney is the prettiest of all the girls.
She's gorgeous.
So like, and she
is she pretty or is she blonde? I'm just joking.
I mean, it's both. Yeah. But she really is pretty. She doesn't look like she has that much makeup on. Like her skin looks great. She looks great. Like I was like, she's the prettiest one, and I liked her like cool little flip back hairdo. Like not a lot of women can pull that off. So like she's very current. And now I was like, I like her, but unfortunately, I'm not sure if she'll make it maybe to next season. We'll see. You know,
let's see, because she's got the family thing, so that sometimes holds you. And so we don't know, because there's gonna be something dark here, because we know that there was that flash forward, and I guess her dad is doing drugs or something. But we also, when she gets on the pole and her dad is in the background, like cheering her on, and I'm like, maybe
that's a little weird, right?
Yeah, let's not show this side of Mormon.
Yeah,
like. Anyways, okay, so then we jump over to another little cross-cut scene here with Jen and Stuart in the Porsche. This was just to show Jen's wealth and that Stuart's hungry and she's not going to go feed him.
I mean, they probably went to like Jack in the Box or something, but they weren't gonna like have a sit down lunch, you know, like
she's like, we got plenty to do right now. And this is not Lisa. We are not gonna stop at Taco Bell and Sonic and Wendy's. Even though we also have a Porsche. But this was just basically so Jen can be like, how big is the cake? I love when she's like, what is the cake? He's like, well, we have 2 layers of chocolate, and then chocolate raspberry. Yeah. And then exactly like my reaction, who likes chocolate raspberry?
I'm like, that sounded delicious to me. I'm sorry. I was like, I was all about that cake.
I will not. Yeah. He said Meredith. I think Meredith does. And she's like, but I don't. That's basically what she said. Like,
she did. And then she's like, I'm really uncomfortable with what you just told me. So we're going to fix this.
Okay. Do you also feel that maybe he didn't want to say, well, I like chocolate raspberry?
Not at all, no. Because she'd be like, get out.
You're fired.
She was like, why are you driving? Just get out. Oh my God. And then when she like looked at him, like she's having this whole conversation, the light turns green and she does that like, go.
Like, she even did a hand movement.
Yeah, she did a hand gesture and just go. Like after she distracted him. Then we have another cross-cut scene here, and this is just showing us Meredith Marks and Lisa Barlow at the house. This is where we find out that Lisa is the Sundance queen. These two are very close. The brunettes are close. It's funny.
they look very similar to each other too, like they're twins almost. Like I was like,
And they sound the same. One's in New York or one's Chicago, so they have kind of like nasal voices, that sort of a thing.
Laugh too.
They're cute together.
They're cute,
They like to show like Meredith's ugly house a little bit more.
I don't think she puts out is that ugly.
All that blonde wood, I can't handle it. Blonde wood and like it looks like Formica. I can't. I sound like Ramona going to like Atlantic City. I can't. This is when we have Jen arrive in her stilettos and heels, stilettos in the snow.
I love that jacket.
I don't know if like that, if she was actually even driving the car in the snow with those shoes. I think she just did it for filming purposes. There's no way I think that like she's wearing that in the snow. I'm sorry.
She's wearing it in the snow. I believe it because that's somebody who goes. That's somebody who goes literally from house to warm car to stored back to warm car. Like you got that automatic starter. My parents have this. Like they make sure that the car is on and the starter is on. And like my dad will be like, make sure you leave the heat all the way up and the volume low. Like when you get out of the car so they can turn it on from in the house. Like, so I'm telling you, that's this girl. And plus she got garages. So she never even really steps in snow unless she really has to, like at this house. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So she, in that coat of hers, like Jen is bringing us fabulous. Like that's the thing. She's fabulous. Tons of jewelry all the time, everything. Now, and we're going to cross cut this a little bit later because Mary Cosby is like the anti-Jen, the same exact thing, like, but like not put well together in my opinion. But anyways, like it looked a little messy.
Seems older.
She does.
She
like
has
Karen
an
Huger
old soul to her. Like even the way she talks, like she's got that old Black woman soul to her. Like you can tell, like the way she communicates. And I felt that very much when she was at lunch with Whitney.
Yeah, Mary. She's like Karen Huger. Like it has that kind of that matriarch vibe.
Even older than Karen, I felt like she was very. I don't know.
Well, she's
and
first
I could
lady.
not stop staring at her hat. That beret. I was
everything.
Does that have batteries or is it the lighting? Like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, this hat is fascinating me.
Well, she had yellow tights on, and Whitney was like, "Can you show me your ways?" And was like, "No, Whitney, stop." And these scenes were cross-cutting and everything. And the only reason why they gave us that scene over at Meredith's house is so they can put that little thing in that Lisa doesn't remember Heather, which housewife fights, the best ones are built on petty shit like this, where it's like when somebody walks in, it's like that old 30 Rock thing of like, I'm going to just say, nice to meet you. And that's the worst thing you can say to somebody who's famous. And so, and like, that's basically what Lisa does to Heather is that nice to meet you. We went to college together. Oh yeah, I remember. She was one of those good time girls, you know, honor code and flashes. It was like, and we find out later why that's so important. But as we flip over at Mary, we finally get the scene with Mary now. And so we get Mary and Whitney. And it really is cat and mouse because Mary is like very strong. You know what I mean? Like, and Whitney's a little mouse.
Yeah.
But she's that mouse who knows how to dig. And this is something too that we saw in this scene when she gets a text from Jen basically saying, "Oh, I'm having a party for Meredith, blah, 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 blah. Make sure that you come." And then she tells Mary, and then she looks back at her phone. She goes, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to say anything."
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Whitney pulling a housewife move out of nowhere. Like, this is like, new girl, come on, come through. I'm calling her new girl, and the thing is, they're all new to us. Like, but she really did do that to her. Like, she took her down a peg by just being like, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to tell you. Check your phone. Check your messages." Like, oh goodness. And so Mary Cosby, she has a line here. "I love this jacket because it makes me happy, not because it's Dolce and Gabbana." Like, okay, Sutton, sit down.
Exactly.
She's like, "I'm best friends with Domenico Dolce." Like, that's gonna be next on Mary Cosby's like list. Just wait. And this is where we find out that everybody knows the story about Mary and her step granddaddy husband. Wow. And everybody thinks this shit is weird, is what Jen says when they put in her like little thing.
It is fucking weird. I'm sorry. It's so weird.
Here's the thing is like, it's weird. I mean, like we already know that there's like a May-December relationship with Whitney and her husband. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're like 20 years, he's 20 years, her senior and that sort of thing. And I don't speak anything about it. I think if you find somebody when you're like 25, that's like way older than you, I think it's a little bit more of an even match in that you can kind of be your own person while still being with somebody that's older and that older person not take you on as a child and you're not looking to them as a parental figure.
For sure.
Mary got with this dude when she was 19. That's not old enough. And Mary was already married. That's the other part that they don't tell anybody either.
Oh, wow.
Is like, so there's a Reddit thing that came out by, I forget who it is, but just look it up, people. And I'm not going to look it up right now. So you guys Google it. But there's all this dirty dish right now about Mary that's out there. And one of the things is that it wasn't really in the will. He kind of did a prayer service and was like, there's a question I want everybody to pray. And you guys let me know if it's a yes or a no. And everybody said it was a yes. And then he was like, well, the Lord told me that I should marry Mary.
What?
Ew. So allegedly, this is what happened. This is like, it's on Reddit, so don't come after me. Or any of us.
I didn't understand is like when they were talking about the will, when they were like, it was in the will that one of my girls will take care of you. So I was like, how many girls are there? Did they all draw straws and Mary got the short straw?
No, he wanted Mary. This is Renee Angelil, Celine Dion grooming. This is what it feels like. It's not. No. I'm not into it. And the thing is, though, is like now when you look at them, they look a little bit more even keeled because like they look like the same. They look like a regular couple, like the same age.
Yeah.
But if you go back and you think about, they've been together for 20 years and they've been together since she was 19.
Yeah.
It didn't always look that way. Like her stepdaddy, grandfather, husband. Like, that, you shouldn't be able to say that about yourself.
Problem with it though. So
no, she just said they'll digest it.
Yeah.
She said they'll digest it.
Well, and it's because you look at all the things that she has though too. So I mean, in order for her to have inherited any of the wealth from her grandmother, she had to marry him. But look at how she's spending her wealth. She got Valentino, she got bags. Like she's probably like, okay, fine, I'll marry my second husband if it means I can get all these nice things, you know. So
there's a weirdness though that I always find that if you're in a church like that and you're in a non-for-profit church and then you have Balmain in your closet, it's just kind of like, what if your parishioners aren't all in at least Macy's and above? Like, come on, you know what I mean? Like you don't need that to do business. You need that for your earthly desires. And so, there's just like a weird thing there where,
for sure,
which part of all that are they taking to heart and all that kind of thing? Because I don't really see Mary as much of a pastor material in the sense that she's not pastor, she's first lady, number one.
Yeah.
but later in the episode too is when they come into this whole thing about the whole lady with her legs chopped off, and she was just cold about that. Like it was just like, oh no, Mary. But we get Mary's good housewife material. We got her in. So she's got a gold mic at her church. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like I was like, how much did that cost? That's what I kept thinking. Like this church, how much did that cost? Do y'all got a canned food drive? Because y'all should be paying for it. Like I don't understand churches. Okay, anyways. And this is when we find out that Jen versus Mary, and that it's because she smelled like hospital. So they went somewhere with some other friends, which we later find out that Carrie was there too, which is a friend of who needs to be in. It's like friend of Hall of Fame on this show already.
Yeah.
So
she was good. She right away. She was like, yeah, I heard you say that. I was like, oh.
these friends of. But here's the thing: the Jen versus Mary fight is giving me Nene Leakes Kim vibes. You know what I mean? Like it's a good showdown of two people who are equally matched. that they can both fight. It's not a fight where you have somebody like a Ramona versus Sonia, where Ramona's going to steamroller. You know what I mean? Like it's Ramona versus Bethany vibes. You want the two big guns to fight each other. You don't want somebody who is underneath. It's like when what's her name? Erica told Eileen, when she told her to shut up, at that one thing, don't talk about my son. Like that, it doesn't feel even because she's not an equal adversary. It's like when Erica goes up against Teddy Mellencamp, it doesn't feel like an equal adversary. Yeah. Whereas Mary and Jen feel equally armed and ready to go for it. So it's a fun fight that we're going to be able to see, and we see it later. So we're getting into this whole thing. So basically, Jen's aunt had both of her legs amputated. Yeah. And she has been spending a lot of time at the hospital. This is somebody that was like her mother. She went out to dinner with a bunch of the girls. She gave a hug to Mary, and Mary could smell hospital. Yeah. This is another one of those things too, though, is it's a very dark fight underneath, but the minimal pettiness of it's smelled so like petty. Hospital. Yeah, is so like, petty. But you know what that smell smells like.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely. Yeah,
like that's the thing is everybody knows what hospital smells like, and if somebody smells like hospital, you know exactly what they're saying. So it's a whole thing. Oh, I had written in here, Whitney goes, oops, I wasn't supposed to say anything. Because they really did just like lay that in there that she just was, whatever. So then we flash over to Jen's chalet, the Shaw chalet. They're getting it ready for the Studio 54 Meredith party that's really for Jen. Okay, so this bitch got money, you guys. Yeah, she removed all of her furniture from her house on the lower level. Do you know how much that costs?
But where does she put the furniture?
That's why it costs so much.
Big boxes.
Yeah, what they do is okay. So we've done this for an event before, and the thing is, and it's fucking expensive. This is like 10 grand because you have to include all the labor and all the bring back, and then the storage units and all the freighting and everything else. Because what this is,
they actually take the furniture away and put it somewhere else. Like they put it somewhere else in her house is what I'm saying. Like
no,
you took it and put it somewhere.
For that kind of furniture, you're not just going to go cram it somewhere. That's why they were taking things out individually. You saw that it was wrapped, some of it. Gotcha. So what they do in these kind of situations, because there's like I've done events like this, and so at either houses or even like really nice country clubs, what they'll do is that you have to pay like extra, like at a country club, and they use their own labor. It's like at least $7,000 usually, like flat, just to get the shit out of there. To remove all the stuff. And then what they do is they usually bring in like like trailers, those kind of things, like storage. Yeah. And they just usually put that behind or whatever. But if you don't want people to see it, then you got to put it somewhere else. Most likely they had it somewhere like probably stored in her driveway, so they didn't have to take it too far. But you still have to pay for all the trucking and the freighting to get that shit over there. That's plus crazy. All the man hours for all the people who are going to be doing it. And then they have to also move everything back into the house. This is just to move the furniture cost a fortune. Yeah, and then you have like everything else that was going on in the house. She had that damn rose gold mic and she was telling people what to do on it. I'm sorry, but that's ignorant. Okay. That's as bad as calling people your servants.
No, it's not.
Listen, servants. When she was like, everybody in the office now. Did you notice there was 2 black dudes in the back and they just looked like they just found her to be a trip? If you watch that scene back and you see that some people like Stuart looks nervous because he always looked nervous. The other assistant's there. And then what's it called? Stuart was hiding behind a plant. I think that's where he was. But then you had the other people that were standing there, and there's this one black dude in the corner, and he just looked like, this lady is crazy. She is a trip. He got a smile on his face the whole time. He warmed my heart, you guys. Because I was like, oh, he's like watching the episode just like us. he got first row seats. They're draping the whole house. That's another big cost. I mean, that's spent money.
Huge cost, yeah.
And then they built that tunnel outside to receive people. That is essentially to get all the snow off your feet before you hit my floors. Is that what that tunnel was for? Jen, she lets Heather know that Lisa doesn't remember her. She calls her a good time girl. So this is like Jen, like, let's get the story going. Hey, Heather.
Yeah.
This is what this bitch said. And so, and she wants her to, and then now, what's it called? Lisa, not Lisa, Heather. These new names, you guys, we're going to get there. Heather basically wants to hold Lisa accountable for saying that she doesn't know her. And then she goes, go sell more tequila that you don't drink. It's as good as go drink a bottle of yourself, Evian. Like that sits up there for me. Like that is superstar girl. Then we flip back over to Brooks with his dad on the phone. This is Meredith's son, the gay boy Brooks. This is Schitt's Creek, a la Utah. So Brooks and Seth are on the phone together, and he's putting roses everywhere. I got issues with this, y'all. I got so many issues. He spent all that money on roses. That's a lot of money on roses.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
And they're probably not long stem. They're probably short, like little roses. They probably didn't smell that great because that's the thing is you get those a little bit more affordable. But she got all those white floors, and she about to walk on those red roses on the white floors. So she got to worry about stain control. Not only that, but the thing is, who's cleaning those up? Because Brooks went home. Like he was like, "I'm gonna go to bed. I'll talk to you later, mom." Like he was not cleaning that shit up, you know. And then he's not even like the husband's not even there to partake in the whole rose situation.
It makes no sense. Like, why would you do all of that and then not like be there to surprise in person? Like,
or have something else there, like a big gift of some sort that you can like. A gift or a huge cake or something that she can take with her or indulge in, not just be like, oh, look at this mess in my house.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it was. He made a mess in the house and he wasn't even home. It was just weird. The FaceTiming was weird. The fact that like her son is putting out roses for roses means sexy time, right?
I guess, yeah.
But not this way. Well, she said it looked like a coffin, like he did. Did somebody mention that?
Yeah, it's just like a coffin. Yeah. So.
I don't know, you guys. I don't know. This was weird. Everything is weird. And I was thinking at this point, like when he's talking to her on the phone and saying that she's older than him, and all that sort of thing. You're a cradle robber, blah blah blah. And she's like, you do this to me every single time, and she looks so over him. And then it's like, oh, he is fucking somebody else. But then when they showed that scene at the very end, it's like, oh, she's the one who found somebody else that's more her intellectual match. That's what's happening here. I'm telling you guys. I'm like, this is forecasting myself. I have not heard any rumors or anything.
Older by a couple months though.
I know, right? So
it's not even like a couple of years.
It's just that thing that he can say she's 40, he's or 48. She's 48. She does not look like 48. She looks great.
No, she looks great, yeah.
They're gay.
Yeah, and we're having a big party for her 48th birthday. Like not the 50th, a 48th.
Yeah. That's a little weird. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far for a 48th birthday.
It was an excuse for Jen to have a party and show off.
Exactly. They were filming. She's like, I need to be the queen bee. I need to be the Lisa Van.
My birthday is coming.
Yeah, I'm telling she's going to host so much, that girl.
Yeah.
This is when they show her getting ready. And this is when everybody's getting ready back and forth. Yeah. That hot pink fuchsia feather sleeve statement dress that Meredith wears gave me life, you guys. Like that was great. Like,
yeah.
This is why we tune into Housewives. Like, not only that, but the thing is, these bitches don't have like the glam squads in the room, like some of the other ones.
Well, they're not showing them, but I'm sure they do have them.
Jen did. So, and they had the other girl. But we didn't see that one with Meredith. Okay. So now as we're getting into the party and they're showing all the arrivals, we have an icon show up, you guys. A friend of Icon, Sarah, drunk girl, pink dress, looking like Elle Woods, comes walking in.
I love that girl. I don't know who she is, but I was like, this girl is everything. I love her. Why is she not a housewife? I was all
happy birthday to you. She got gift in hand for Jen, and she didn't even know if it was Jen's birthday. And she's like, it's not your birthday. It's not her birthday. It's your birthday. Oh, shiz.
That girl was great. She was really pretty too, actually. I was like, that
iconic.
Beautiful. Yeah.
We got Barbie in the house, and why is Barbie not a housewife? Like, if we are taking a trip, I want to take her with us, please. Like, we have these friends of. We need to take Sarah, and we need to take Carrie, who we're going to talk about in a minute. But like, we need these girls. And then later, I'm gonna mention this real quickly about Sarah, because we didn't see this until later in the party, but I wrote this in here. When they flash over and they mic this bitch, they were like, we gotta mic her. So they flash over and they're on the side in like a party scene, and she was like, oh, sorry, I would shake your hand, but I have tequila all over it.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That girl was a mess already.
I'm loving it. I'm loving her. I want more of Sarah. Can you please give us more Sarah? Bravo, guys. We need to see more Sarah at these parties. I want more parties, and Sarah better be invited. Yeah. Like, I have tequila all over it. So we flash over, and this decor, as you're walking in, the step and repeat isn't just a flower wall. It's not Meredith's name. It says Shaw Chalet in orchids. Like, I thought this was Meredith's party, ho. Rude. What else do we have here? Mary, when she mentions, I have all these different notes here, so I'm going to jump around at this party because it was a party scene, so there's all these people jumping. Mary, when she talks about the food and the guy's half dressed and everything, and she was like, "No, I don't want food with pubic hair in it."
Well, did you catch that? Those guys were smooth as hell, though. There was gonna be no hair in your food, girl.
Right.
They really did. Like, they waxed everything for the premiere of Salt Lake City. Like, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna be on TV."
Yeah. They had some cute boys. So I was like, "Yes, I'm loving this party." Yes.
Lisa snubs Heather so hard, you guys. The whole when
they walk by, she like just like real
Lisa,
quick,
But Lisa walked in and she was just with her slouchy coat and her dress, and she's just like, hey, nice shoes, nice hair. I love that. Love this. Love your jacket. Love your hair. Looked at the black girl and was like, love your everything. Like, she didn't know what to say there, so she just was like, and then she looked at Heather and was like, and just kept going. And they slowed it down. Like, these producers, they knew enough to like, let's do this in slow motion. It was just like Heather looking one way, like, is she gonna acknowledge me? And Lisa just slowly just turning her head with a big smile on her face. I was like, this is 1990s teen movie realness right now. They slowed the camera down so we saw the snub happen. She's all that. We are having a moment. Loved it. And then, so what else do we have here? So everybody is there, and I hadn't noticed when we first saw Jen. Jen was in a fuchsia sparkly dress as well. Okay, so it's not you.
That dress was ugly.
It was ugly, but the thing is
I'm sorry. I thought it was amazing. She looked great. I loved it.
Well, the thing is like, you're gonna show up in hot pink fuchsia, and Meredith. Did you know Meredith was going to be wearing hot pink fuchsia as well? Like, what was the conversation that went on here? Yeah. And if Meredith is supposed to be the star of the party, then why are you wearing the hot pink dress? It's like the whole, why are you wearing a red dress if everybody else is wearing black and white?
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of like the theme though too, because when Meredith came in, they were like, "Oh, you dressed to look like the theme." So I think that's why she was doing that too.
I don't know. I just think if I was one throwing the party for my friend, I would have wore black or white.
Oh, well, she knew what she was doing. She wanted to stick out as well.
Yeah, like it's rude. And the thing is, Lisa even mentions, I would never make a grand entrance at a party I'm throwing for someone else.
Oh yeah, for sure. Totally not do that. That was not cool. So like, you could wear the dress, but don't make a grand entrance like that.
And then she flies in Tonga dancers. And they're like, what did Tonga dancers have to do with Meredith? Nothing.
Nothing.
I like Tonga dancers. Next question, please. Like it was very.
She's letting you know that she spent money, and she wanted you to know how much money she spent, or like it was not a big deal for her to have spent the money that she spent.
Okay. Very much that. Like she just like the furniture. Oh, this looks great. Like she didn't know it was gonna happen, bitch. Like you knew you had your hands in this party. She's the kind of client I kind of love, though, who spends a lot of money and who just knows that she wants it to look fabulous. That's the whole big point. Love those kind of clients. Call me. Like,
come to San Diego, please. With all your money.
I travel, bitch. I don't gotta just stay in San Diego. I'll go to Salt Lake.
Yeah, we'll go to Salt Lake. We should make a trip after this.
I'm so into it because I like Salt Lake. I've been there once. Okay, so now we have the showdown between Mary and Jen, our biggest fight of the evening. This is what we're going to be leaving the episode on. And so we find out that the reason why Mary thinks she knows the smell of hospitals because it's dark to her. She's had 12 surgeries to remove her odor glands.
What the fuck, man? That is so weird. Like, you can do that? Like, that's a thing? Like,
so I looked it up, and she was on Watch What Happens, and somebody had asked about it, and she was basically saying that it was the odor glands, they become clogged, and they were causing boils all over her body. Ew. So that's something. But when I Googled it, I really couldn't find much about it. So I'm not a doctor, so I'm not really going to think and be like, ooh. I looked it up on Ask Jeeves. Like, Ask Jeeves, how old am I? Anyways, so anyways, she's basically, it's the worst experience of my life. They lost me twice. She told her, like, I was on the table. They lost me twice. Like, oh my God, Mary, like, really? Like, so... And that smell just takes me to a dark place. So, Jen, when you said smells like hospital, like, didn't you know that it was going to hurt me and all this other thing? So when they wave over, like, when she's like, well, who told you this? And she was like, well, Carrie told me this. And Carrie is the other friend of who we did not know was going to come out swinging this hard in episode number 1. Yeah. Bitch got mic'd up at the beginning of the party, had nothing to say, but when she came in and said it, she said it. So Mary's thing is, are you the one who told her that I think it smells like hospital? And Carrie says, I absolutely did.
Which we love, yes.
Carrie, yes. There was no backtracking. It wasn't like a stunned face of like, how could you say that? Like, she just went, I absolutely. She leaned in. She leaned in. She leaned into Jen's mic and her own mic. And she was like, I absolutely did. Next question, please. Like, but she got that. I just wrote here, it was the face crack of a century because Mary was like, you know what I mean? And the thing and Carrie has apparently been at Heather Gay's establishment because her face did not move that whole time. She said, I absolutely did. And her face said nothing. Like her face just sat there and said, what's next? You know what I mean? So that I live for it. I live. Okay. So then Mary, so basically that Jen's telling her, I went through this traumatic thing. She was like a mother to me. She lost her legs, blah, 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 blah. And then when Mary says, this is why I was like, oh, you're a Christian and you said this? Yeah. Why are you getting your legs cut off at 60? Like, diet, exercise, drink water. I lost myself. She said, drink water. She told this bitch to not lose your legs, drink water. But this is First Lady of the church, y'all. First Lady of the Pentecostal Church of Salt Lake City just said, drink water. And this is when we have Jen running off and basically, there was a point here too. I'm going to just backtrack where Mary tried to flag off, like, why are you over here anyways, Carrie, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like,
yeah, but they wanted her, though, to be there. Yeah, but she was,
And Jen spoke up with the meatball on her mouth and was like, hey, you asked for her to come over here, and she just didn't say what you wanted her to say. So, like, it was basically that. But then after this whole thing is that Jen leaves because she feels like, her family's being disrespected. And this is like a real reason to have a fight, is when your family is disrespected, you fight for their honor. It was perfect. That was where they ended this episode. I said the season. This was a good fucking episode, y'all. Like, bravo to bravo. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They slam dunked it. Like, I'm very excited for this season. This is better than what New York and Beverly Hills served up for a whole season in one episode, in my opinion. So they could have given us the whole Beverly Hills storyline in 2 episodes. New York, they could have given it to us in 90 minutes. like 90 minutes could have been like, everybody drinks, everybody's angry. Like, that would have been New York's, like, line. And Salt Lake City said, okay, well, only half the people drink, the other half drink in quiet on the sides of the room. And the 2 main bitches hate each other. So, like,
well, I don't know if Mary is a main bitch, because they didn't introduce Mary till like the end. So I was just like, I don't know how to feel about her, to be honest.
I think we were holding her. They were holding her to, like, shock.
You think so?
Yeah,
okay.
Mary.
Danielle, I feel.
Jen is gonna be the top dog. You know what I mean? Like, Jen is our Bethany. Jen is our Kyle. Jen is our that girl on the linchpin of the season. But I think this Mary she's equal adversary. She's a good person who comes in like a Lisa Rinna, who's always going to be there to bite somebody's ass. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited. It's going to be.
The only thing I don't like too is like that it's like, so this is the first franchise we have that it's like an interracial cast, but now we're pitting the 2 women of color against each other. So I don't know how to feel about that, though. Like, are they doing that purposely, or are they doing that because I don't know?
They think it just happened. Like, how do you avoid a fight like that between 2 of the biggest personalities there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Mary's a big, huge fucking personality. Like, that's it's a Karen Huger light. You know what I mean? You can't get Karen Huger, so you get Mary Cosby.
I don't like Mary at all, actually, right now. So all the other girls I like, but like for Mary, I don't like her. So
but that's the thing, though, is you're not supposed to always like them all. You know what I mean? True. Like, you're supposed to. Some of them are supposed to be just as like a thorn in your side as the other ones. You know what I mean? As long as they can do something. It's one thing to be polarizing like a Teddy Mellencamp from Beverly Hills, where you don't care about her so much for her to really matter. You know what I mean? But Mary, you're like, oh, let's invest a little bit into her. She's interesting as hell. She speaks up for herself. She's, you know what I mean? And she's rude as fuck. We found out this episode that she's just like, she gives no fucks. She truly gives no fucks.
Yeah.
Let me flaunt my wealth and ask my parishioners for 10% of their wages. You know what I mean? Like, tithe to me so I can get a new Balmain skirt. And also her fashion, you guys, it's not cute. Like, that dress that she was wearing at the end, I think the Dolce one or whatever.
It's the Valentino one.
The Valentino green thing. Ugh.
Yeah, who knew what that was? She's like, it came off the runway. Yeah, because no one wanted to fucking buy it. Like,
off the floor?
It's total like Sutton in that aspect.
She did. She probably got it. Yeah.
And that's what makes a good housewife, is I need delusional. I need money. I need petty fights. And this is bringing it to us. So I'm on this ride. This one just kind of outshone Potomac for me a little bit, because I'm kind of getting over some of the fights in Potomac. So
they just filmed their reunion on Potomac. So, and it's going to be an in-person reunion that we see. So I was following Andy Cohen's Instagram stories.
I think it was like 11 hours.
They said it took 11 hours to film. Yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Some of them are like that. Like, there was 13 hours, I think, for New York.
Yeah,
like,
that's insane. That's a long day, man. Like,
that's because they keep you hungry, tired, and mad. Like, so you just it's like dogs. You just let them fight each other. And so, like, that's basically what they're doing with these women. It's just like, okay, now hold her. Don't let her eat. No, let her go. See what happens. Like, They fly off. That's why Ramona takes his Xanax and goes to a reunion just so she could just sit there all vibed out.
Yeah.
So
I will say that too. Yeah, I don't know why Potomac hasn't really kept my interest as much as I thought it would. So because like I always forget to watch it now. Like I'm like, oh, it's there, but like I don't really want to watch it.
It's an off night. Like Sunday, if you don't have Atlanta on, Sunday's like not the night. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what does it a disservice. I didn't even watch OC this week, you guys. I'm like,
I did.
Is it any good?
It was okay. It wasn't as great as the other ones were. It was just kind of like a filler episode, I felt.
Okay, so let's do this for the dear listeners who are listening and watching and reading along. I don't know what they would be reading, but whatever, probably us. So you guys tell me what happened on OC this week. Give me a brief synopsis.
God, what happened? I'm trying to remember.
See,
Gina had a birthday party for her daughter.
Okay.
Oh yes, yeah, that's right.
Saw the ex-husband come in.
Yes.
They talked about how.
So Matt was on screen.
Matt was on screen.
Matt was on screen. Yeah.
Matt was on TV.
Yeah. I do have to say this. I know for as much crap as you talk about Gina gets it in, man. She's got some good-looking guys. Matt's handsome. Her new boyfriend's handsome. I'm like, yes, Gina, you get that, girl.
I don't not like Gina. I just don't aspire to be anything like Gina. I think that's my problem.
You don't want to be a homeowner? You don't want to be a homeowner?
Girl, I'm in a home right now. Like, and I would have this the same way that she would. You know what I mean? Like, your husband has to die, you have to get divorced. You know what I mean? Like, and then you get your extra stuff. Yeah. But like, that's how you get your toys. That's how she got them. But I mean, but it's just, she's not aspirational, guys. That's, you know.
Yeah. I mean, but I also don't aspire to be Bronwyn. I don't want fucking 7 kids.
But I would want a Bronwyn. I would want a Bronwyn house. I wouldn't want the, you know what I mean?
No, she's renting her house. She don't own her house.
It doesn't matter. If you can afford to just throw that kind of money out the window, then throw it out the window.
But then you're stupid. That's a special kind of stupid. Why are you just throwing your money out there like that? That's dumb.
Who knows? It's probably because they're doing something with their taxes. I'm telling you right now that they probably are writing off half that house on their taxes as like home space that they work out of. And so the garage, the car, they probably half that shit is probably through their businesses.
Okay, I would never rent like a Louis Vuitton purse if I wasn't going to own it, is what I'm saying. So
that's just not for me. The thing is like, it's just.
Then, they did show Bronwyn, her son, and how he's into drag. So and they talked about that a little bit. The only thing that didn't really make sense that was weird too is like, so they were asking if he was gay or if he was trans, and then they didn't understand why he would be into drag if he wasn't gay or trans. And I was like, that's kind of really stupid and naive. But I mean, that's where we're at though sometimes with some people, right? Like,
I think we're gonna get a lesson though. Like that's the one thing is I think they are gonna I think Bronwyn is gonna be especially responsible with her LGBT allyship because she's already kind of proved. She came down here to San Diego this year. You know what I mean? Like
they went to Tantrums and Tiaras, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then when people have been like, "Oh, her husband's gay, Sean's gay," and she's like, "No, that's me, sweetie." You know what I mean? And like, so the rumor is that she's come out as bi and that she's got a girlfriend now on the side as they've been separated. That Bronwyn is really, truly that she's not an alcoholic. She's been running from her proclivities.
Her and Gina go to an AA meeting together too in this episode. So
exactly.
Was it? I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun when we see that.
They go to lunch.
It's not fun to. Yeah, it's not. You're right. It's not fun to see it. So the episode wasn't really like an action-packed episode. You know, no one threw a glass in the pool, so we didn't see any of that. But we're seeing. They set it up for like the party to come. That's gonna happen, where you know that Kelly gets in a fight with what's her face with Shannon. So we're gonna get all that. So it's just sometimes you do get like the stupid filler episode. You're like, that was whatever.
It's a setup episode, so they're setting things up.
It was a setup episode, but I mean, important things happen. Just things that you just didn't really maybe care about.
I'll probably watch it on fast forward.
I like that they're interviewing the kids in OC, like because they interviewed Shannon's daughter, And now they interviewed Bronwyn's son. And when they did the interview for him, he had on full makeup, like eyeliner and lipstick and stuff. Yeah. So he was talking about why he was into drag. So I did appreciate that.
So they let him have his own voice. So they're not just he's not going to be a bystander on his own life.
Making it heard. Absolutely. So they didn't just he didn't just try on a bunch of dresses. He actually talked about why he's doing it. And
did Shannon's daughter go, Dreamcatcher, 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 whoa? Like, do you guys remember their band?
No, I don't remember that.
Dreamcatcher. Like, oh, they got a band. And then that was the day that Shannon's mother-in-law said that she hated her, basically. Like, I wish he would have went with that other woman. You're miserable. David, did you hear what she said to me? Like, oh, Shannon in that voice. I love her. Anyways, so that's what happened on there. And then the only other thing that from Potomac that was really, really great this past week that I think we can take from any of it is Karen Huger coming for Giselle and saying Jamal lives in your phone. When she said he lives in your phone. What's happened here? That's another classic Housewives line. Yeah. It's like to tell somebody that their boyfriend lives in their phone. Okay. So that is kind of everything this week. So that's where we're going to like end it for today. So thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Binge Bitches as we talk Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I do want to let you guys know that coming this week, we have a new audio podcast. You're actually going to find this in audio form, what you guys have just listened to, with some bumpers at the beginning and the end. And so on the new audio podcast, The Bald and Bingeable. So I'm going to be taking this. We're going to be doing Binge Bitches as we have been, but they're going to be available on audio form, so you guys can listen to those at your own leisure. As you're walking your dogs, as you're at the gym or whatever, you can hear our lovely voices. I know, right? It's going to be so cute. So, and then the other days we're going to be having some like interviews and things like that. So we're going to get to know Nelson and Gunther a little bit better and see what they were watching as children and what kind of shaped their lives and what made them the big whores they are right now. And like, I'm also going to be interviewing some other like fun people, some other podcast hosts. We have some drag queens coming up. And so it's a whole new life. And since we're going to be in this little quarantine situation for a minute, we're going to be a little bit creative. So that being said, thank you boys so much for joining me today on another Binge Bitches. I want to let everybody know. Nelson, can you tell everybody where to follow you?
Well, yes. Before quarantine, I would say at the free clinic, but I mean, that's not happening. The COVID clinic now, though, because we are being responsible and getting our COVID tests. But you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Yes Queen. So YAA 3 S's and then Queen spelled with a K WEEN because I'm illiterate.
She don't know how to read, y'all.
Not at all.
So, and Mr. Gunther, where can they find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Gunther Vanderrules. And on TikTok at Gunther Vanderpump. And I just last night started getting paid for my content.
What?
5 cents.
Wait. How did you start getting paid? What did you do?
I went live and people gave me money when I went live. I went live while I was at work last night because I was bartending and I don't have any bar customers there. So I was like, why don't I go live and like be fun while I'm bartending, and was just bartending and having fun and dancing around, and I made 5 cents. So
that's amazing. Oh my god. I hope you don't spend that all in one place. So
but here's the thing, y'all, is that but Gunther has actually he found a way to monetize all of his social media before TikTok even let him become an influencer that way, because you were making money off of it by doing like Venmo and everything else.
Yes.
Yeah, you figured that shit out early. Smart as hell. So she's a crafty bitch. What is
why I can afford this microphone.
Rena would call her a hustler.
She's a hustler, yes, absolutely.
She's a hustler. You can't hustle a hustler, baby.
You can't hustle the hustler, yeah.
So, okay, you guys can also find me on Instagram, and you can find me at D'Angelo Gogo on Instagram. You can find me as D'Angelo on TikTok. So thank you guys so much. Please do like and subscribe to Binge Bitches on YouTube. Please do like and subscribe to the podcast as it becomes available over on Apple, iTunes, and all the other formats that you can find it. So thank you guys so much. Mwah. This has been a great night.
Bye.
And good night from the lower level.
From LA.
Bye.